More British servicemen and women could be posted on year-long tours of Afghanistan as part of the handover to local forces. The commander of Task Force Helmand, Brigadier Ed Davis, has told the independent newspaper greater continuity is needed to build mentoring relationships. The Ministry of Defence says it has no plan to change the standard 6-month deployment for most, but it's constantly looking at tour length and intervals. James Hurst reports.
Then they went through the gap.
The work of British troops in Afghanistan is not just about fighting. As handover to Afghan forces begins, the work of mentoring and supporting them becomes ever more important. Building relationships with Afghan partners is essential to that work. And the current commander of Task Force Helmand clearly believes that's difficult in a 6-month tour. Brigadier Davis told The Independent, the constant churn of people with whom you have really strong relationships is hard. So I think you need to reduce that by having people in theatre for longer. He says he suspects over time we'll see these changes and a larger percentage of people doing longer tours. We are looking, he says, at 9 to 12 months.
I've done 3 tours now, and every tour has all been about building relationships with the Afghans. You arrive in country, and the first month to 6 weeks is all about getting to know the country and getting to know the people. And then as soon as you're there, you then only got something like 4 months before you're handing them over to somebody else who's coming in to do the role again. Without a shadow of a doubt, if we spent a year there, it would give us far more of an opportunity to build a better relationship with them.
For the Americans, a year-long tour in Afghanistan is pretty standard, and many civilians in the provincial reconstruction team are posted for more than 6 months. Most British troops currently do 6-month tours of Afghanistan. Some do shorter, but a small number of others already do longer. If more were to spend a full year away from home, the extra pressure would not just be on them, but also their families.
People like me have got used to it. We can bear these burdens a bit easier, but young mums with young families, a bit of discussion first.
They tell you your husband's going away and you think, oh, it's all right because it's only going to be for however long, and then you have all the pre-deployment exercises and everything else. It already takes a big chunk out of your life.
We do already have a significant number of troops who do 12-month tours. However, if more troops are to do 12-month tours, then we just want to make sure that there is significant welfare for those families left behind. 12 months is a long time to be separated from children and loved ones, and we just want to make sure that people are supported during that deployment, because it does take time to get back to establishing the family routine.
The Ministry of Defence said today it is always examining how best to generate and sustain our armed forces, including by looking at the length of tours and the intervals between them. However, it says the vast majority of personnel serve 6-month tours, and there are no current plans to change this. While it makes clear the standard 6-month tour isn't likely to change, it does appear to leave the door open for some to serve longer, as the 2014 deadline to end the combat mission gets nearer. James Hurst, Forces News.